Anyway, Smackdown. Good Lord. Thankfully, I didn't watch most of it.
Good.
Because you didn't either, and I knew you weren't. But I'm going to my notes now because we did see, I think, probably the greatest sight of our wrestling week, Paul Heyman. I mean, now, is there any doubt that he deserves to be placed along on a mountaintop or on the wall, the pantheon of the immortals with Olivier, Redgrave, De Niro, and now Heyman? He's fucking great. Did he onion his eyes? He had to have. He was crying. He was crying tears. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing Paulie cry, but in a working way.
I'm sure he didn't have to work too hard to get fake tears.
Well, normally they're called crocodile tears, but Paulie doesn't really have bags under his eyes. He's got suitcases. So, anyway, the very first part of the show, well, they're doing the draft business, and nobody cares. Does anybody care about the draft? Because
people do.
They're all in the same company.
Well, it's stupid.
It's a bullshit, stupid thing anyway. People care about it?
People care about it. I have I don't know if you watched throughout the show, but I do have a list here of the different draft picks from SmackDown.
Well, I didn't watch throughout the show because I didn't care, but you can go ahead and tell me where everybody's going so I'll know what to look out for in the future.
Here are the draft picks. SmackDown, I'll give you their first 8 picks. In order, number 1 draft pick, Roman Reigns. Number 2 draft pick, the Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. Number 3...
So wait a minute. So Charlotte now will join Roman Reigns on SmackDown. There's 2 reasons to watch.
Number 3, Drew McIntyre. Number 4, the New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods.
So where's Big E now?
Well, hold on. Number 5, Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss.
Oh, my God. We'll get to that in a second.
Number 6, Hit Row, consisting of the NXT North American Champion Isaiah Swerve Scott, Top Dollar, Ashante the Adonis, and B-Fab. Which one is the guy from the collectible show?
AJ.
Is he Top Dollar?
Well, I don't know. His name was AJ on the fucking WWE co-produced Treasures program, so now they're presenting him with a different name on another one of their programs, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, why would you call him Top Dollar when he was trying to give all these historians low deals, offers on everything?
I ought to call him Lowballer.
Number 7, Naomi. And finally, number 8, coming to SmackDown, Jeff Hardy. Here are the first 8 draft picks from Raw. The number 1 draft pick, the WWE Champion Big E, going to Raw officially.
So his other 2 partners are on SmackDown now.
That's right. That is correct.
So will there be pancakes on both programs, or can we get away from the pancakes and the unicorns and the trombones and the lollipops?
I'm starting to think pancakes may be the only food Vince remembers the name of, and that's why they keep having it on these shows. But number 2 coming to Raw, which I guess means there will be no revenge for the many ass kickings, Bianca Belair going to Raw. Number 3, the Raw.
Wait a minute. So she's just finished with what's her face?
Sasha.
She's just been mad at Sasha
and Becky. She was mad at everyone.
Okay, so they've all kicked her ass, and then she moves over where she can't get it back.
Number 3, staying on Raw, the tag team champions of RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Riddle.
I was hoping they would draft Riddle to the French Foreign Legion.
Moving to Raw, the number 4 draft pick, Edge. Number 5, the women's tag team champions, Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash, will be remaining on Raw. They're on Raw, right?
I haven't seen Rhea lately, so she must be, but oh God.
The number 6 draft pick, Keith Bearcat Lee. Number 7, the tag team of Rey and Dominic Mysterio.
You know, may I back up just a second to say, I bet you Keith Lee strikes me as a person that ain't gonna like having a nickname foisted off on him. And I bet you he liked Limitless before, and I bet you he's grumpy right now. He strikes me as a person that would be grumpy after being made to wear a tennis skirt and change his whole gimmick and do jobs that now he's a Bearcat.
On Raw, and of course the number 7 draft pick, like I said before, Rey and Dominic Mysterio will be going to Raw. And finally, the number 8 draft pick, Austin Theory.
Going to Raw.
Going to Raw.
Maybe we'll watch clips of him later. Well, I'm assuming that they're going to bury him as quick as he gets there because he's a person that I'd really like to see more of, so they can't have that.
But at least they've gotten the tennis skirt out of their system, so we know they're not going to put a tennis skirt on him.
Well, no, but he might be old Karrion Kross's partner, and he can be the Darso ripoff. Anyway, on this program, Reigns and Heyman started out first after the draft business. And I love it. Roman Reigns, as a babyface, they boot him out of the building. As a heel, now half the people are chanting for him. And Heyman heeled all over the city of Baltimore and did a promo on, Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel. So this isn't, as we mentioned, this ain't the Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. It's fucking Saudi Arabia. They get the match. And I did enjoy that Paulie called Roman Reigns the suplexorcist because he exorcised the demon. Now he's going to exorcise the beast. Not exercise as in let's get physical, but exercise as in let's have Father Karras run the shit out of Linda Blair.
Let's get physical. I like that.
Yeah. Let's get into physical. Let me hear your body talk. Olivia Newton-John was quite a healthy young lady back then. Anyway, so here comes Brock Lesnar's music, and the place comes unglued because when he shows up, it's a special occasion. Although in this case, he comes down the aisleway. He looked like a caricature of Klondike Bill on steroids with the lumberjack shirt and fucking jeans and whatever. But this was great. He comes in the ring. They've got a face-off with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Reigns is the one to attack. Brock comes back out from under it. A couple of German suplexes. Here comes the Usos. He dumps them too. Reigns backs off, acts like he wants to get in, but he's backing off again. So Brock F5s both the Usos that are, their role there would be perfect if they weren't the tag team champions, because their role is to have whoever's fucking with Roman Reigns kick the shit out of them, or them to try to kick the shit out of them. But as tag team champions, it devalues the belt. Nevertheless, Reigns, as Gordon Soley would have said, was a picture of consternation at all these goings on. It was a great angle. It makes you want to see those guys have a match. That's the idea. This was so simple. All you have to do is look like stars, be stars, and do some serious shit that stars would do. It's not that hard. What'd you think?
I thought it was all right. That's all I have to say.
You, Mr. I want to see Roman Reigns every week on SmackDown. That's all I care about. Now
It's weird watching a show when you know you don't want to see almost anything else on the show. Because I tried a few things, and then I just started hitting that 30-second forward button, and I just zipped right through.
Is there one of those?
Yeah, on my cable remote there is. It goes 30 seconds ahead.
Well, 30 seconds ain't nearly enough.
Well, you hit it like 6 or 7 times, and next thing you know, you're in a commercial break.
I hit that goddamn fast forward until all the arrows pop up. Anyway, in this program also, Happy Corbin beat Kevin Steen flat in the middle of the ring 1, 2, 3 with his new buddy, what's his name?
Madcap Moss.
Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. So they've also, by the way, obviously written off Mr. Steen in anticipation of his going to join the Lollipop Guild when his contract is up, because he just got beat flat in the middle. Were you as insulted as I was by the Edge and Seth Rollins segment?
I don't know if insulted is the right word, but this is around the point where I gave up on the show, and I said, you have Seth Rollins, who I just saw in the Broken Skull thing, and I want to give him a chance, and then it's this, and I don't know who this appeals to. I don't know why they think this is a good thing to do But whatever, I'm not their audience. What do I know?
All right, well, Edge, for the folks of you who are lucky enough not to see this, Edge is in the ring at SmackDown doing a live in-ring promo when suddenly Seth Rollins interrupts on the big screen, and the camera widens out, and he reveals he's at Edge's house in outside Asheville, North Carolina, with a live remote television camera. It's not even like one of these Facebook, FaceTime phone camera things. They've actually got a professional television camera and a cameraman, and they are beaming this via satellite to the live location at SmackDown is. But of course, nobody knew he was going to do this. And Edge has to react in shock and horror and run out of the ring and run to the back as quickly as he can, because Seth Stalin just goes in the open front door in the middle of the night, it's dark outside, at Edge's house. This was goofy when Steve Austin came to Brian Pillman's house 25 years ago in Cincinnati, but at least they were over, and at least it was supposed to be on television, and at least they didn't go this far with the boring stupid. It was fairly much people screaming and yelling and fucking things breaking and gunshots. Seth Rollins just opens the unlocked door, goes in looking for Beth. Beth, she's not there. Raids the refrigerator, eats an apple and drinks some orange juice, sat in his chair, knocked the kid's art, put his feet up on the table. This went forever. And there was no damage even done to the location. I've had people in my house that made a bigger mess that were invited. And then you come out of that and go back to Edge in the back on the phone, supposedly with Beth. Go to your brother's house. Go to Seth's in the house. Go to your brother's. So that they just fucking buried Edge as a complete moron, and more obviously and more worse, as a matter of fact, complicit in this whole thing. They're yanking our crank. This ain't happening. It's bullshit. They didn't even make a legitimate run past making it believable. And there's two of their top guys, and they just make them idiots. I guarantee you that this is a Vince McMahon / Bruce Pritchard type of thing that they loved the Austin and Pillman thing. I had to sit there and listen to them rave about it.
Hey, give that thing credit, though. People talked about that. The next day, it's all wrestling fans could talk about was that angle, the gun. Whether you liked it or not, people talked about it. Is anyone talking about Seth Rollins going to Edge's house?
No, because Pillman and Austin kind of actually made people believe somewhat that they were screwy, or that something at least had gone wrong. This was just boring. And made Edge look like an idiot because he bought it. Brock Lesnar thanked Paul Heyman and by the way, he comes in on Jeff Hardy's interview, and Jeff just goes, oop, and backs off. So way to fucking make your baby faces look like real kick-ass guys. He thanked Paul Heyman for him being a free agent. Then they go to the locker room with Reigns and Heyman and the Usos. And this is great stuff if you ignore that they're having a private talk on television, which I guess we've come to the point where we just do, because at least we get to hear them do a decent fucking rendition of a promo. But Reigns asked Heyman, are you good friends with Brock Lesnar? He thanked my good friend Paul Heyman for him being a free agent. Are you good friends with Brock Lesnar? Are we good friends, Paul? And Paul was teary-eyed. He was shitting himself. He was trembling. And Reigns doesn't want the Usos drafted away from him. And he screamed at Paul, go to Raw and make sure that the Usos stay on SmackDown or whatever, right? So Heyman leaves, and then Reigns tells the Usos, go with him to Raw and either go make sure he does what he's supposed to do or leave him for dead. So now they're teasing Heyman's jig may be up. Again, great stuff if you ignore they're on fucking television. And of all people, Paul E's not going to watch himself back to see what he looked like on TV.
That was the big thing. They did that, I think, last week, too, where all of a sudden they're doing a great promo together right in front of the camera and not acknowledging it, and it's so stupid. It defeats what the purpose is here.
But anyway, that was my thoughts of SmackDown. That didn't take long, did it? Jesus Christ, they are handing this fight to the opposition.
And they think they're putting up a fight.
I don't know. Have they got a screw loose? Do they need a new carburetor, a new engine, something to put in their screwy heads to fix themselves?
A new CEO.
Because they think these things? A new CEO, perhaps?
Yeah, a new CEO, I think, would really help.
Well, folks, if you need spare parts to put inside you to make you smarter, well, you ain't gonna be helped here, because we're talking about car parts now. We welcome a new sponsor to the program, the folks at RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
I was going to ask if you knew
their
it.
Commercial.
Yeah, good. I was going to ask if you knew the jingle.
Oh, yes, I do, because they have an amazing selection and reliably low prices. And folks, I'll tell you what, with the ever-increasing number of makes and models of all these cars, you don't know what the hell they are now. It's almost impossible for anybody to stock all the parts that you need in one of these traditional storefronts of these auto parts places. So why should you, the consumer, have to endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning by these people? Is your Odyssey an LX or an EX? What the fuck is an Odyssey? What does Odyssey Jones have to do with this? Anyway, you don't have to go in these stores and pick the brands that his warehouse happens to carry, because you have access, if you have a computer, to RockAuto.com. If you repair and maintain your cars to save money so that you can use that money for other important things like mortgage, food, Cornette's collectibles, why would you spend 30%, 50%, 100% more for the exact same auto parts at a chain store or a dealership that you can get at RockAuto.com? They've sometimes, Brian, I know you're a longtime car repairer, and you know this, that chain stores have different prices for professional mechanics and the do-it-yourselfers. If you're a pro, you're in the family. They figure you in, but they take advantage. They literally abuse the walk-ins. Well, RockAuto.com's prices are the same for everybody, and they always offer the lowest price possible. So, if you have any idea how to service your car yourself, I personally would not ride in a car that I had anything to do with maintaining. However, some people can do these things. So, from engine control modules and brake parts to tail lamps, motor oil, even new carpet, if you need a new crankshaft for your truck or a new truck shaft for your crank, whatever, go to RockAuto.com, RockAuto.com. And on that site, when it says, how did you hear about us? Actually, it won't say that. It will read that. If you read it, then that's what it'll say, but it won't speak it. But they've got a box on there. It says, how did you hear about us? Type JCE in that box, and they'll know that we sent you, and therefore they should take care of you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need, RockAuto.com. You know what they say about these car repairs, Brian? The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And speaking of which, I haven't heard you squeak today. Oh, well, all right, I'm sorry.
There's
right.
Squeaky
chairs. Is the squeaky chair going to get the grease? I thought you got a new one.
I did get a new one. I just haven't constructed it yet. It's still in the box downstairs.
Wait a minute, what kind of fucking Fisher-Price Mickey Mouse stuff are you doing with the construct it? Just buy a chair already put together.
Well, I have to put it together. I have to put the base on the seat, and I have to put the arms on the seat, and I have to put the back on the seat.
Wait a minute, you put the arms on the seat?
Yeah.
Well, you just lay them there and then sit on top of them?
Well, no, you put them where the arms would normally go to rest.
You put them on the seat. You put them on the sides of the seat, attaching to the back.
Are your eyes on your face or on the front of your face? I mean, it's really semantics when we get down to it.
Well, if you had any cement, you wouldn't need the grease.
You may be right about that.
Nevertheless, you are so cheap
No,
that you didn't just buy a nice King Louis XIV chair and have it delivered to your home. You buy something in a box somewhere on the side of the road under an overpass. Now you've got to put it together.
I bought a chair from a reputable source. It has wheels on like a King Louis XIV chair because I need to move around my desk in the work area because there's so much happening here. And
wait a minute, you can't move around without wheels? What are you, a fucking obese 400-pound...
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you have a chair without wheels, it's hard if you have a workstation on your left, a workstation behind you, a workstation on your right, and you need to move around. Wheels.
I'm not surrounded by my work. All my work is right in front of me. I can turn a little to the left. I can turn a little to the right. I can do the Harlem Shuffle. I don't need wheels.
You could do the Harlem Shuffle.
Sure.
All right. Well,
as long as you can't see me.
The point is, this chair will be out of service pretty soon. Still haven't decided what to do about it. I may put it on Cameo. Do you think people would be interested in getting cameos from Brian Last's chair?
Well, it depends on how many different and creative ways that it can squeak insults to people.
Well, that's the question. Do I do any of the talking from behind the chair as the chair? Does the chair talk and have a voice? Or is it just me introducing the chair and the chair squeaks and maybe I write a joke on it and leave it on the chair? What do you do?
I think that's it. You introduce the chair, then you walk off and you leave a written joke on the chair and the chair can squeak a little bit when it delivers it.
We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to do any appearances in the Cameo because then we have to bump up the Cameo rate a lot of money.
Oh, God.
The chair alone, you could probably make it a reasonable fee.
Well, yeah, because the chair has no union.
Are you allowed to put chairs on Cameo, or does it have to be a human being?
I don't know that that's been tested yet.
Well, we will find out, but...
You could be the canary in the coal mine here.
I've always wanted to be a trendsetter, but we'll see what happens. But this chair will be retiring very soon.
Well, thank you, because I'm already tiring of the chair.